What if you were born in Greenland? What would your destiny depend on? You pay around 40 Danish kroner for a single fresh cucumber, which drains about $6 from your wallet just for a salad ingredient. There are literally 0 roads connecting the towns, forcing you to use helicopters, boats, or dog sleds for any travel between settlements. Most amazingly, the sun refuses to rise for months during the winter, giving you complete darkness, and then refuses to set for months during the summer. How do ordinary people afford housing when grocery bills and heating costs go through the roof? How do you pass high school exams when polar bears might be wandering outside your classroom? How do you even find a romantic partner when your dating pool is essentially just a few hundred people? And how do you survive as a teenager leaving your family to study? You will find out about all this in just a few minutes. Welcome to Greenland. This is a series of videos where we live a whole life, from birth to death, in different countries around the globe. Today we are experiencing this icy world through the eyes of 2 regular locals with average living standards. Country context. Let us dive into the background of this massive island. Greenland has a tiny population of just around 56,000 people. Meanwhile, its territory is an absolutely massive 2.1 million square kilometers. This makes it the least densely populated territory in the entire world. Your chance of being born here is incredibly close to zero, roughly 0.0007%. The facts here are truly mind-blowing. 80% of the land is covered by a permanent, massive ice cap. People leave their doors unlocked because crime in settlements is almost non-existent. The capital city possesses only a couple of traffic lights in total. Now, let us return to our heroes, with completely different destinies. Introduction of characters. Meet Ivalu and Malik. Ivalu is a girl born right in the bustling capital city of Nuuk. Her parents have standard administrative jobs in the local municipality. They live in a typical, wildly colorful, multi-story apartment block, which is surprisingly cozy and well insulated against the Arctic winds. Malik is a boy born far away in a small, isolated northern hunting settlement. His father is a traditional halibut fisherman, and his mother works at the only local grocery store. They live in a small, bright red wooden house situated directly on the rocky, frozen coastline. Childhood. Ivalu grows up in a snowy, modern urban environment. Since her parents work full-time, she goes to a municipal kindergarten at age 2. In Nuuk, childcare is highly subsidized by the government. It costs parents around 2,000 Danish kroner a month, making that about $290 for absolutely excellent care and warm meals. Malik grows up surrounded by howling sled dogs and giant floating icebergs. There are no private kindergartens in his settlement. He stays home with relatives or attends a very small community daycare. Both kids spend their earliest years bundled up in extremely thick layers of sealskin and wool, learning how to walk on slippery ice. School. Both kids start compulsory schooling at age 6. Education is completely free here. Preparing for school is mostly about buying extreme winter survival gear, which costs families around 3,500 Danish kroner, setting parents back about $500 American every single year. Private schools almost do not exist here, so public schools are the absolute standard. Ivalu walks to her modern school in Nuuk. Her day starts at 8 in the morning and ends around 2 in the afternoon. Malik gets a very different experience. His school is tiny, often with kids of different ages sharing one single classroom. Sometimes school is completely canceled due to violent, blinding snowstorms. After school, Ivalu goes to an indoor swimming pool or a youth club in the capital to hang out with friends. Malik helps his father prepare heavy fishing nets or feeds raw meat to the working sled dogs. Exams in Greenland are quite stressful, especially the final leaving exams in the 10th grade. This creates a very tough situation for kids from remote villages like Malik. Because small settlements lack high schools, teenagers at the age of 15 literally have to leave their families behind. They must pack their bags and move to bigger coastal towns, staying in dormitories just to continue their education. It is incredibly hard to be far from your parents at such a young age during the dark winter months. How would you handle leaving home so early? Let me know in the comments. Army. There is 0 military service in Greenland. Because Greenland is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, defense is entirely handled by the Danish military. Neither Ivalu nor Malik will ever receive a draft notice. There is simply no local army for young men or women to join. University. Higher education brings unique challenges. The country features only one university, the University of Greenland, located in Nuuk. Ivalu can just take a quick bus ride there. Malik has to take a very expensive domestic flight just to attend. Admission is entirely based on your high high school grades. But here is the most amazing part. Education is totally free, and the government actually pays students a monthly stipend of roughly 4,500 Danish kroner, putting about 650 greenbacks directly into their pockets to help with rent and food. However, keeping up financially provides a massive challenge. Groceries in Nuuk are extremely expensive because everything is imported by cargo ship. Students like Malik live in cheap, cramped dorms, eating instant noodles or dried fish sent by his family to survive. Many young people feel huge pressure because if you want to study engineering or advanced medicine, you cannot do it in Greenland. You must fly across the ocean to Denmark. Career. After graduation, finding a job looks very different for both. Ivalu gets a business degree and easily secures an office job in Nuuk. The capital is growing super fast. Malik decides not to go to university. He returns to his isolated region to manage a commercial fishing operation. The standard work week is 40 hours. Starting salaries look fantastic on paper. Ivalu starts at 25,000 Danish kroner a month. Converted, that is a solid 3,600 US dollars. Malik makes around 20,000 Danish kroner, translating to roughly 2,800 bucks, heavily depending on the fishing season. But living costs are absolutely brutal. Renting a simple one-bedroom apartment in Nuuk costs Ivalu 8,000 Danish kroner, stripping away over $1,100 from her budget instantly. Fresh food takes another giant chunk. Half her salary just evaporates into basic survival. Malik pays much less for housing, but internet and electricity in the frozen north are insanely expensive. Love and marriage. Finding your true love in Greenland is quite tricky. Nuuk has a bit of a dating scene, maybe some Tinder, but basically everyone knows each other anyway. For Malik and his village, it is a truly complex and difficult situation. There is a massive gender imbalance in rural Greenland. Many young women move to the capital city or to Europe for education and career opportunities, and they simply never return. This leaves remote villages filled mostly with single men. This specific situation causes a lot of heartbreak and loneliness for rural guys who just want to start a family. When locals look for a partner, flashy status and money matter way less than practical survival skills, a great sense of humor, and a strong connection to local culture. Couples usually move in together long before getting officially married. When they do tie the knot, the average age is around 30. Buying real estate in Nuuk is fiercely competitive. A decent family apartment costs around 2.5 million Danish kroner, meaning you need to secure a bank loan for nearly 360,000 American dollars. Most couples simply choose to rent for years. Would you take a mortgage that massive in a town of just 19,000 people? Write your thoughts down below. Children. Families in Greenland usually have 2 or 3 kids. The maternal leave is absolutely fantastic due to the strong Nordic welfare model. A mother gets around 15 weeks of fully paid leave, and then the parents can happily share another 17 weeks between them. Husbands very frequently take paternity leave to spend vital bonding time with their newborns. Pension. Retirement age is currently set at 66 years old. If Ivalu and Malik work their whole lives, they will receive a very decent public pension. The base pension is about 13,000 Danish kroner per month, giving our elderly characters almost 1,800 US dollars to comfortably survive. Because pensioners get heavy government subsidies for housing and medicine, they actually live quite well. They spend their golden years drinking endless cups of incredibly strong coffee, knitting warm wool sweaters, and watching the magnificent northern lights dancing over the massive glaciers. Conclusion. What kind of Greenlandic life would you choose? The modern, expensive, fast-paced rhythm of the icy capital with Ivalu? Or the traditional, isolated, but deeply cultural life of Malik out in the wild, frozen north? Let me know your choice in the comments.